Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, ID Jester. Welcome back to our tutorial, basic overview of Fantasy Ground video series. This is part two, where we're going to talk about character manipulations and what you can do to make your life a lot easier playing Fantasy Grounds as a player. Specifically, again, this is going to focus on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and joining in ID Jester's group, but this could be used for any other system, joining with other people, as a lot of these resources and a lot of the information I'm sharing will work across to any of the Fantasy Ground modules. So we're going to be joining our game again, and the best way to do that is actually, again, just go to the connection history, click on it, fill it in, hit the start button, put the password in if you need it, and hit start. Should connect very quickly. And it might take up to a minute or two, depending on where you are located and how fast the your internet connection speed is, and the host internet connection speed, and all that information. So, uh, campaign setup. We can actually uncheck this tab if you don't need this to pop up every time. So you can click this on and off. So we're going to actually just disable that. So character selection, we're going to choose our character, and there we go. We got the big old star on it showing we have access to this character, and we are ready to go. So let's show you what we do here. So if we click on the character sheet again, if you missed episode 1, wherever you move your character sheet and then close it, the next time you open it, you will reproduce right in that same location. So you can use that to have a setup of wherever position you think is the best for your character sheet, and you can manage your desktop however you see fit, as it's your desktop. Doesn't have any it's not going to affect any of the other players or the dungeon master in any shape or form. All right, so let's talk about it. I'm just going to move it here to the middle so I can talk about it. Main thing about the character sheet is there are 7 tabs here on the side. Each tab will have access to different things. Your main tab, your skills, your abilities, your inventory, your notes, your log, and your actions. We'll go over each of these a little bit. Not too much in detail, but your main screen has got most of your information on it. Your skills obviously have all your skills on it. Your abilities have all of your different feats and features and traits and proficiencies and languages and stuff. Inventory will have all your items, and the most important thing is whether or not they're actually on you, equipped, or if they are being carried in your backpack or stored on your horse or stored in a locker, wherever the situation may be. Your notes tab, which will have all the information about your characters, alignment, deity, personalities, traits, ideas, flaws, all that information. Your log, and then, of course, all of your most important actions. I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to be using the main screen, the skill screen, and your action screen quite a bit. But having to bring this up all the time is takes a lot of time and effort, but there's ways around that. There's things you can do, and I'm going to show you how to do this and set this up. And if you're smart about it, you can actually make it very, very easy on yourself to play Fantasy Grounds. So I'm going to close it out because I want you to focus down here at the bottom edge. You can see there are 12 special tabs down here that are going to give you access to shortcuts. These are your shortcut locations. There's actually more than that. If I hold the control key down on my keyboard, you're going to notice it's going to say C and a number. And if I do the same thing with the S key, it's going to do the same thing with S. And if I hit the Alt key, it will also do the same thing. So you have access to Control, Shift, Alt, and there's also actually Control, Alt, and Shift, Control, or I'm sorry, Shift, Alt, and also Shift and Control. But I wouldn't go that deep into things, but there are a lot of tabs that you can set up for all of your wonderful things. So, Hellsfar here, and we want to set up some of his main things that he's going to be using all the time and make it quick and easy for him to have access to things. You will see a lot of times on the character sheets, you will see these little dice here. What those dice is basically is a dice roll. So I can pick this up and I can roll it in there, and it's going to roll an acrobatics check for me. It's going to automatically apply any of my modifiers for me, and it's all ready to go. That's what's great about Fantasy Grounds. So you can see athletics, I get a +4. So if the Dungeon Master says, okay, give me an athletics check, boom, you just take the dice, throw it in there. It's going to roll. It rolled a 13. It takes 4 as your modifier, and it gives you a grand total of 17. So that's pretty good. That's pretty quick. That's pretty easy, right? But there's even a better way to do that. And what I'm going to do is show you how to do this. So the most important things, a lot of times your Dungeon Master will actually may have you do abilities or saving throws. And what you can do is, again, just take your abilities and take the little dice. And you can see I've got it highlighted here. I just left click on the dice. I'm just holding my left mouse button down, and it's just taking the dice wherever I move. And if I take it down here and I just drop it on there, you can see it's going to change to check strength. So the Dungeon Master says, hey, give me a strength check. All I have to do is come down and just click that button, and it automatically rolls the dice for me. Oh, I rolled a natural 20. I am super good at this game, right? And it'll automatically add in your modifier. You can see my modifier is a +2 because I have a 15 strength, and it automatically add everything in and give you your grand total, just like that. So Dungeon Master says, give me a strength check. All I have to do is click on that. And I can do that for all of my different abilities. So I can go strength, and I can go dexterity, and I can do constitution, and my intelligence, and my wisdom, and my charisma. Okay? So Dungeon Master says, hey, give me a wisdom check. Boom. There you go, Mr. DM. I rolled a 19 total. All right? Boom. I mean, that literally only takes just a second to do. The cool thing about this is this will actually save in between sessions. So all you have to do is set this up once, and we're actually going to exit out of the program. There we are. We're back to our desktop. We're going to load back up into Fantasy Grounds, join game, click on the connection already, hit start, put the password in, put the password in again. Come on, there you go. There, and hit connect. And quickly and easily we'll be zooming back in. So once you set this up, you're going to have it set up for a long, long time. Alrighty, and I just click on my character. And look at what I have down here. I have those saved from the last time. It was all set up and ready to go. So anytime the Dungeon Master asks me for a check, I've got my strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma all ready to go. So what I would do is I would take your 12 most common things and put them down here. And that, what I mean by that is I would take your most common actions that you would take and have those ready to go. Not only can you do this with your attacks, you can also do it with your damage as well. So if Hellsfar, his only weapon he really has is a mace, all I have to do is take the dice again. I could just drop it over here if I wanted to, but in this case I don't need to. But I could just take this and I'm going to say, you know what, that's going to be number 7 is my mace attack. There we go. And you can see I can actually go in and right click it and go to edit label. And I know it's hard to see on here, but it has like a little cursor, and I can actually just hit the backspace. Backspace. There we go. Keep going. Backspace, backspace. And I can rename it. I can just say mace attack. And then just hit enter, and there's my mace attack. Just like that. So sometimes I know some of these things can get really long. Again, right click, go to edit label, and just hit the backspace until it's out, and then I can just type in charisma check. Boom. Just like that, right? So anytime I need to do a mace attack, I can actually just click on this button right there, And this one is not set up properly because it's doing advantage. Why is it doing advantage? I don't have advantage set up. Whoever set this up didn't set it up right. Let's edit this item. Oh, I gotta see what's going on with this. Proficiency, base, bonus, dice, multiplier, dice, bonus. Why is it doing 2 dice? That is my question. I don't have advantage on. I don't have any modifiers set up, do I? Nope. What about my... Nope, I don't have any of that. Why is it doing 2 dice? That's a good question. Is it doing it with this? Yes, it is. Why is it doing disadvantage? It's showing a disadvantage. Why am I having disadvantage? Oh, right. Because I'm actually in the combat tracker. If we actually load up the map again, I'm going to share this. My character's unconscious in the combat tracker. That's why. Okay. Well, let's just delete you out of there, and we'll just add you back in. All right. So that's why. Now I bet you if we let's just bring our character sheet back up. You can see how having windows on top of windows is kind of a problem, right? So you want to make sure you can kind of figure out the best location for everything. Because if I need to have access to my character sheet, right, always manipulate the windows down the bottom. There we go. All right, now if I click on my mace attack, there we go. All right, that's why I had disadvantage because I was unconscious in our test episode from last time. That's why I was rolling 2 dice. Okay, so it was set up correctly. It was just I didn't check to make sure I didn't have anything crazy going on my dungeon screen over there. Okay, so what I was saying is we should set up the most important things, right, that you use all the time, and that necessarily doesn't mean your strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and tax. What I think your main screen should be, and this is just personal preference, should be any of your attacks that you do a lot, or maybe spells that you cast a lot, or if you have some kind of feat or ability that you use a lot. For example, let's see. He doesn't really have anything too much. Channel Divinity. We can always add Channel Divinity down here. So anytime you cast or use Channel Divinity, you can click on the link and it'll give you all the information about it. But if you had some kind of feature that you used a lot, if you are, say, if you're a cleric and you tend to heal people a lot or use medicine checks, you might want to have these. But find out what works for you. What I like doing is I actually like using the Shift button. Shift starts with an S, and Skills. Skills starts with an S, so it's a quick way to remind myself. So what I would like to do is take the 12 of these that I use a lot and just move them down there. So we're going to put down, we're going to use dexterity, right? And now I'm not going to use animal handling very often, so I'm not going to add that one. Arcane, probably I'll use that one a lot. Athletics, yeah, I'll probably use that a lot. Deception, no. History, yeah, I use history. I use my insight. I use not so much intimidation, not investigation. Medicine, obviously. And nature, yeah, I use my nature check every once in a while. Perception checks a lot. And, of course, my religion, right? And then I've got S for skills. So the Dungeon Master says, hey, give me a medicine check. I just hold my shift key down. I find my medicine, I just click it, and oh, another natural 20. I am I am really good at this game. I win, you lose. All right. So again, it's going to automatically add in all the modifiers. If I change the modifier, it's automatically going to change my link. I don't need to redo anything. So if for some reason instead of +5, I went in there and changed that to something else, then it would automatically change my modifier here. So shift is for my skills, S for shift, S for skills. And then what I would do is C for cast spells. And yes, S also starts with spells, but cast spells is C. So I would do the same thing with my C button. I would use my spells. So if I was going to cast, let's see here. Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame. That just gives us the information. Do we have any attack spells? Doesn't look like he actually has any attack spells. Sacred Flame. Spare the Dying. Resistance Bless. Cure Wounds. Guiding Bolt. Healing Word. Doesn't look like he has any attack ones, so it's hard. I mean, you can always add your spell down here because when I click it, right, it's going to give me all the information. So again, until I get used to my character and I know these rules inside and out and my spells inside and out, which will probably take a little while, right? I can say, okay, I start using my godly powers, and you are going to regain a number of hit points. So this one actually is a dice roll, 1d8 plus a spellcasting modifier. So we should be able to set that up. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so cure wounds. There we go. All right, so if you hit the little magnifying glass next to it, if you hit the little magnifying glass next to the spell, it'll actually give you the information. So you can see heal 1d8 plus 6. So I can actually drag this dice down to my main attack, because as a cleric, I'm going to probably be using this a lot. And I got my Cure Light Wounds ready to go. So you can see when I cast this spell, all I have to do is click it again. I can right click and I can rename this. And we're just going to call this Cure Wounds. Oops. Cure Wounds. There we go. For Bless, it just has an effect. Guiding Bolt. There's a ranged attack. All right, so we can just take my ranged attack. And if I take the dice down here, I can put that right there. And click it. And just to make sure it works, there we go. So there's my ranged attack. And then if the Dungeon Master says, yep, you hit, then I can just click on the damage and drag that down as well. And there's my damage. So I can click the spell and click the damage, and my, basically my attack is ready to go. Don't click the damage unless the Dungeon Master tells you you hit, or unless you know you rolled a hit. If you've attacked this guy and you know a 13 or higher is a hit, and you roll a 15, then yeah, go ahead and roll damage. But don't roll damage until the Dungeon Master tells you you hit. So that's how you can set up all your main attacks and all your main things that you're going to use. Use the shift key to get your skills, S for shift, or if you want to do S for spells, that's fine, whatever. But keep things organized, because there's nothing worse than like clicking and going, wait a minute, no, that's not on this tab, it's not on this tab. Which tab is it on? Let me click the Alt tab, So, things that you may or may not use a lot, I would put those in your Alt and your Shift and your Control tabs. Again, I would keep things organized. S for skills, C for cast. I just call them cast, see, and then I don't use the word spell. If I use cast, then I'll remember, oh yeah, I'm cast, that's a C, and I'll use the control key. And then your A, you might want to put all of your uh, others, things, maybe your saving throws in that one, and your ability scores. That's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so you can get all 12 of those on your Alt tab. So we can set that up. So we got our strength, we got our dexterity, we got our constitution, we got our intelligence, we got our wisdom, and we have our charisma. And then, of course, we have our saves over here. And we can set these up. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. All right, Dungeon Master needs a constitution saving throw. I just hit the Alt tab, look for constitution. Boom. All right, that's charisma. Sorry, DM. Constitution, here we go. There it is, that's a 6. Ooh, I'm not very good at this game. I suck. Alrighty, so that's how that works. It's definitely, say keep things organized, right? I can always, if I don't like how things are set up, I can right-click it and I can say delete clear slot. Delete what's in there if I don't like what's there, and reset it up. Hopefully, you and your DM and your party will spend a little bit of time before you start your sessions, and DM will give you a little bit of time. I mean, I do, and just let you just mess around, testing things. Make sure you test it. Make sure it works, right? There's nothing worse than you get in the middle of the game and you're like, okay, mace attack, and nothing happens, right? If nothing happens, then, oh, you're going to slow the game down and all that. So just click and make sure, oh, yeah, that works. We'll try this one. Yep, that one works. My guiding bolt. There's my ranged attack. Here's my damage. Good, good, good. Cure wounds. All right, I cured 8 hit points on you. There you go. All right, so that's what you can do with your abilities, your saves. Again, if you have anything that is, kind of uh, used not very often that you might need to have access to, right? I can always add that to, I could do something crazy like hold down the shift and the shift and the control, shift and control, and I can put all my, my weird stuff in maybe shift control or shift alt, right? Shift and alt, hold both of those keys down, or shift control and alt, whatever, whatever floats your boat, because you have lots and lots to use. Or, I like shift and control because they're right next to one another. And then maybe, you link in all these abilities, right? Because instead of trying to find them in the player's handbook and bring them up and all that stuff, all you have to do is link them, right? And then once you got this all set up, right, you really don't need your character sheet very often, right? So you can just keep your character sheet closed because I've got all my attacks, right? Once you get it all set up, if I go and add in my crossbow, right, I can add in my crossbow here and my crossbow damage, right? And I've got my spells and my spells, right? My casts. I got my casts in, ready to go. Again, you might need to click the little thing here and organize them. Here's my cantrip, Sacred Flame. It's a save DC of 13. All right, and I can put that down there. And I click it, it'll always say, it basically tells the DM the monsters need to make a save DC 13 instead of having to remember that information. Sacred Flame. I wanted to find out more of the information. But if I use this a lot, I want it on my, I want this in my cast, right? So I want my cast. I'll put this back down there. There we go. So now Oh, I got it in both. I don't need it in both. Right. Let's get rid of it here. That's why. Okay, I couldn't figure out. So under my cast, I got my Sacred Flame. It's just a reminder to the DM. Hey, I've cast this spell, and the enemies need to make a Dexterity saving throw of 13. It doesn't, some of the things in the game don't automatically happen, like when you cast, say, Bless, right? If we look at Bless, it's going to add in an attack of 1d4 and give you an extra foresighter on a save. But this is where this down here in the bottom right hand corner, I'm sorry, bottom left hand corner, this is kind of your modifier, right? Your modifier table. So if you have an advantage before you go, attacking someone, all you have to do is click on advantage, and then I'm doing my mace attack. Boom. It'll automatically roll 2 dice for me. It'll choose the larger of the numbers. It was a 6 and a 15, so it chose the 15. And it'll automatically add my modifier there and give me my total with the advantage. Now notice it went off, so you're going to have to do that. If you're attacking several times, you'll have to click, okay, advantage, mace attack. Oh, a natural 20. I am good at this game. Advantage, mace attack on the next guy. Ooh, I hit again. All right, and one more. Mace attack. Boom, boom, boom. All right. There you go. So there is your attacks. So that's basically how you set up. If your character sheet, again, we talked about having your character sheet up as a player. I think, if you set up your hotkey bars with your normal, your control, your shift, and your alt, and your any combinations, control shift, control alt, and your shift alt, right? You have like, I think we calculated there was like 36. No, I think it was more than that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combos of 12. Was that 54? You have 54 different hot links you can put in there. Of course, it's going to take you a little while to, remember which ones do which. That's why keeping things organized is going to be super helpful. So skills under S, right? Your A's are going to have your abilities and your saves. A for abilities, A's for saves. And they are different, actually. If you look at, say, your wisdom, your ability, right? Your ability is a 13. Or wisdom is a 16, which is a +3, but your save is a 5 because you have proficiency in that. That's why it's got a yellow star. So the yellow stars show you what you're proficient in. Again, you can manipulate this screen up and down. It gives you your hit points. Things will automatically adjust hit points up and down, which we're going to talk about in the combat episode coming up next. But this is how to really spend some time with your dungeon master ahead of time. I know as a group what we ended up doing was just having a pre-play session where I had all the players join up. We just got a little fake scenario, map out characters, and just had people setting up their hot bars or keys or links and everything, and just practicing hitting enemies and moving characters around and checking to make sure all of your links worked and you're ready to go. And once you do that and get that all set up, it doesn't take but a few minutes, really. You don't have, especially if you're starting, first level, second level, lower level, anything less than, say, level 5, 6, 7, or 8, then you're ready to go. The last thing is there will become a time in the world out there where eventually your character will level up, right? So how do you level up a character in this game? Well, the first thing you want to do is click on the library and go to Create PC, because what will end up happening is you will actually need these extra tabs here. And then all you're going to do is you're going to find the class that you're going to add and click on the classes. And in this case, I'm just going to go from a cleric level 3. And all I have to do is take the little icon here, bring it over. You can see, actually, before I do that, you can see I have 24 hit points, my proficiencies +2. I'm trying to think of any other thing that might adjust. But basically, the computer knows what to do, and all I have to do is just drag this over to where it says Cleric 3 and drop that head, and look at what happened, right? And it's going to tell you everything you need to know over here in the chat window. So one level of class Cleric added to Housefire Blackhand. Average hit points for additional Cleric level added to Housefire 7. So you notice our hit points went up from 24 to 31. And then it also tells me I have an ability score improvement added to Housefire Blackhand. So that is a feature. If we look at the features, I believe, where would that actually show that we have that? It's a good question. I don't actually know where it's going to actually show you that. But that is a reminder that actually you actually have a ability score improvement. So now that we are a 4th level, we can actually improve one of our ability scores. So yeah, it'll give you all the information there. If there might be, depending on some of your character classes, especially say if you go from 1st level to 2nd level, it'll pop up little windows and it'll say, okay, you need to choose a domain, or you need to choose another skill, or you now have access to this, or this. Choose one of these items. So you might have many different windows pop up, but it's all programmed in for you to make leveling super, super easy for you. And again, it'll give you all the information over there. So that's as simple as it is for leveling up. I don't, you can multi-class. You didn't need to add a level of cleric. We could have said, you know what, I'm going to start being a cleric, but I also want to get some ranks in. What do I want to be? Maybe a fighter. Maybe I'll be a fighter. And what'll happen is when I drop that on there, it'll say cleric 4, fighter level 1, and it'll tell you all the things that have happened here. So I've got proficiencies in light armor, medium armor, shields. I've gotten simple weapons, mortal weapons, and I've gotten a second wind and a fighting style. So that should here it is, fighting style and second wind. Oh, and ability score improvement. There it is. Boom. So we can click on this information. When you reach 4th level and 8th and 12th and 16th and 9th level, you can increase one ability score of your choice by 2, or you can increase 2 ability scores of your choice by 1. Blah, blah, blah. So here's the information that we missed earlier. But now I've got a fighting style. All right, gives you all the information. You get a +2 bonus in your attack rolls. Or you're going to have to choose which style you're going to use, and that's when you're going to use your your notes section to make your choices on that. But it gives you all the information. It pops them in there really quick and easy for you. Leveling shouldn't really, you can level up. I know if you play a face-to-face game, leveling up can take like an hour and a half if you got 4 people, as they discuss everything and look up all the rules and everything. In this game, you can actually level up in the middle of a session if you wanted to, and everyone should be able to level up in just literally like 5-minute break. You can take a 5-minute break and everyone should be leveled up by then, and have all their decisions made and everything ready to go. And of course it auto adjusts everything. You can see our hit points were adjusted there. Yep, 8 more hit points for the fighter class, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, so there you go. That's pretty much everything that you pretty much need to know as far as manipulating your character. Again, once you have all your information down here, you don't need to have your character sheet up as much anymore, right? We don't need to have that, but if you do, you can always click on it, bring it up, have it ready to go. And like I said, if we exit out of the launcher and log back in, everything should, if the Everything is, oh, I got it under, right. I got it under cap walks, which doesn't work. But everything should be saved for the next session for us, ready to go. And I won't have to undo and redo everything that we've just done. And it works great. All the players love it. And it really makes combat go, should make combat go a lot easier. Yep, so if I go to my, there's all my S's, there's my C's, there's my A's, right? And here's my main screen, ready to go. And again, right click, we don't need to right click that one, but edit label, backspace, and oops, mace, damage. And what I would do, and enter, there we go, I was always have my attack and my damage right next to one another. So I could attack, and eventually you're going to know whether it's a hit or miss. But like I said, once the DM says you hit, or you hit them on a 12, you know a 15 is probably going to hit them, right? And then you can just do your damage. Now the reason you might want to wait to verify or whatever is when we talk about combat and showing you how to manipulate things in combat, which will come up in the next episode. So thanks everyone for joining us. Hopefully this is helpful for everyone out there, and how to set up and get ready to play, and managing your character and manipulating it and leveling it up and getting it ready to go for the next session. And then next time we'll talk about combat. Thanks everyone. We'll see you all next episode.